Today, we are talking about on Therapy Facts with Dr. Jenn, a new series that I wanted to address called I Spy with My Little Eye. What I see as a psychologist when I'm moving around the world, moving about my personal life, and want to comment on in a bigger capacity. So, as I move around the world and I am not in a professional capacity, I don't always say, I'm not that psychologist that's going to enter every situation and point out things that I see or to give unsolicited advice. Unsolicited advice. I rarely do that. However, I will answer questions when people find out I'm a psychologist. Very often, they will ask me very specific questions that I will answer according to my expertise and what I know about the science and what I know from practice. However, if nobody asks me anything, I'm usually not going to open my mouth. However, I do see a lot. So I thought maybe I would use this platform to talk about those things. And so the first topic that I wanted to talk about in the I Spy with My Little Eye series is self-induced stress. So a couple of weekends ago, I attended a book club conference, and there were about 400 women minus one or two men who were in the room, or maybe minus 10 men. So it was mostly a gathering of women who love to read and who mostly are involved with book clubs. And so one of the sessions in the book club conference was on stress. And I was struck by the number of women who shared that they had a lot of stress about issues that they really couldn't control. And so I thought to myself that there is certainly a lot of self-induced stress going around. So the definition of stress is applying pressure, consistent pressure, to an object. And so I then looked up the word pressure, and the word pressure means the constant force exerted to make someone do something. So stress is applying force to someone in order to get them to do something. And as I said, self-induced stress comes from applying pressure to oneself in order to get them to do something. So if you are applying pressure to yourself to get you to do something outside of your capacity, then that means that you can stop applying that pressure. The broad category that I see people applying pressure to themselves to do is anything that is outside the time, the limits of time, or the capacity of time, the capacity of financial resources, the capacity of physical resources, and the capacity of psychological resources. If you know me in real life, I'm always talking about whether I have the psychological resources or the psychological bandwidth to do something, because I realize that my work takes a lot of mental capacity. And if I don't have the mental capacity, then I'm not going to be very effective at whatever it is I'm trying to get myself to do, or that someone else is trying to get me to do. As I said in a previous video about rewarding people for asking us or making requests to us to do things that are outside our capacity, we'll continue to get other people, we'll continue to have them asking us to do things that we don't have the capacity to do. Same thing with ourselves. If we are continuously putting pressure on ourselves and actually trying to engage in behavior, activities, and tasks that are beyond our capacity, then we are going to be consistently stressed out. And we're going to be looking around to give credit to whoever and whatever circumstance we can give for being so stressed. So, in short, if it is you who is pressuring yourself to do things especially beyond your capacity, take a little inventory and stop. Now, when you stop, to be sure, there is going to be pushback from yourself where you will feel guilty. You will feel like you're letting someone or people down. You will even feel anxious about whether people will continue to respect, love, appreciate, give you attention, rely upon, and all those things. However, one must consider that overwhelming and chronic and constant stress eventually shows up in our bodies, which means it can debilitate us and it can even kill us. All right? And that's not being overly dramatic. The body keeps the score, and the body is usually the first to go with all of this stress. So be mindful and prioritize yourself and your capacity. You got to do it in baby steps, but you can do it. Because if you are pressuring yourself to do things that are beyond your capacity, then you only have yourself to blame from the debilitating stress that you feel. The good news is if you can blame yourself, then you can stop yourself. Stopping will be painful, but it is the best pain that you can take on.